all about that one. Kingswood were playing St Andrews one day on the St Andrews field, as they do every second year, as you know. Big rugby match on St Andrews field. There Kingswood were playing them. And a minute from the end, Kingswood were leading 8-6. And there was a loose scrum in the middle of the field, and the ball came out on the St Andrews side, and it went from scrum half to fly half. The fullback came in at centre, it gave them an overlap, and the St Andrews wing went belting it down the touchline. Now, if you've watched one of these matches, you'll know that the St Andrews and the DSG people sit on special brought-in benches along the touchline on the far side of the field, and the other spectators sat on the bank there. Anyway, the St Andrews wing went down the bloody touchline like hell, eh? And as he got down right near the corner flag, the cross defence came from the other side from Kingswood and tackled him right on the bloody flag as he was dotting the ball. Touched him, at least tackled him on the flag. And he thought he'd scored a try because he thought he'd got it down before he went over. The Kingswood guys thought he hadn't. He'd been pushed out before he scored. They asked the little linesman. Now, in those days, the linesman was a schoolboy, and this linesman was a St Andrews boy. So old Jimmy Green, who was a little bit old in those days and hadn't been able to keep up with the game, arrived a little late at the corner flag, and he said to the St Andrews boy, "Was that boy out before he dotted the ball?" "No," said the St Andrews boy. He knew he'd be slaughtered if he'd said yes, he was out before he dotted the ball. So he said, "No, he wasn't out, it was a try." Well, Jimmy Green, knowing no better, not having been there, awarded the try. And St Andrews beat Kingswood 9-8. And the boy who was supposed to have scored the try must have been one of those whites from Bedford or somebody, a very good sportsman. And it worried him all his life, whether he'd scored a try or whether he hadn't. I mean, it's a hell of an important thing for St Andrews to beat Kingswood, or for Kingswood to beat St Andrews. And he wasn't sure that he had dotted the ball inside before he'd got knocked out the ball. And one day he died. Many years later he died, and he got up to the pearly gates, and the St Peter welcomed him in. "Come inside, you're very welcome." And he said, "No, St Peter, there's one thing that's worrying me terribly. I can't come inside until I know the truth." He said, "Do you ever watch the Kingswood St Andrews matches?" "Oh, yes," he says, "I watch them every year." Well, she says, "Can you tell me in 1950, whatever it was, or in 1940, whatever it was, did I really score a try, or didn't I score that try? Did you see that?" "Yes," he says, "I saw it very clearly." He said, "Well, can you tell me whether I scored a try or not?" He said, "Definitely you scored a try." "Oh," he said, "thank you so much. Now I can go into heaven, and I can live my good time in heaven."
Thank you, St Peter.
So he said, "Thank you, St Peter." And St Peter said, "Just one thing." He said, "St Peter's on leave. I'm not St Peter, I'm St Andrew."